Hello, good people of the internet. What you're about to watch is a short clip from one of my most vulnerable podcast episodes. I recorded the episode a few weeks after my dad passed away. The topic of the episode was around death, how to grieve, how to heal from grieving, how to move on. So you can check out the complete episode from the link appearing down below in the description. For now, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and let's get into today's video.
What shape does life take after death of a loved one? Now, my personal experience has been that it felt like a hollow. It felt suddenly that after my dad passed away, I could feel this hollow in my heart or in my mind, somewhere manifested somewhere in my body, but I could feel that there is some hollow left because my dad has passed away. And I think it will be sort of a similar feeling for everyone who experiences the death of a loved one, that there is sort of a hollow left within you somewhere. For some people it could be a massive hollow because their entire day was maybe around this person and you do not know what to do with your day anymore. And also a very close cousin of this feeling could be that you could feel that sort of a burden lifted off your shoulders. You could feel, in one manner of speaking, that you are more free than what you were when that person was alive. Now, this is not a feeling to be ashamed of, firstly, because I personally feel that this is going to take a rather tricky turn, but I still want to attempt talking about this. One of the core purposes of life is to be something, is to become something, is to offer something to the world, in one manner of speaking, is to offer something to all of life, life with a capital L. And it could happen that because we get so entangled within our petty little lives, that the drama that we have surrounding our life has made it so restricted that there is no expansion happening anymore, that there is no offering happening anymore, there is no becoming happening anymore in this arc of life. And therefore death, in that manner of speaking, can be sort of a release from that entanglement, of course for the one who died, but also for the ones who survived. And in that manner of speaking, that will show up in your life in the form of a burden being lifted, sort of some chains being broken away from you, and you're feeling lighter, you're feeling freer. This will always be accompanied by a feeling of shame, of course, because you will feel ashamed of feeling that this person who has passed away was holding you back. But it's true, isn't it? Our relationships, in one manner of understanding, are what tie us down. Now, they can tie you down like chains tie a prisoner down, or they can tie you down like an anchor would tie a boat down. So the boat would go all over the sea wherever it has to, but then it comes back to the anchor. In both of these situations, you are being restricted, in one manner of speaking. And therefore, the death of a loved one in a relationship can actually be a burden lifted off of your shoulders in that manner. And now, for the person who has survived this sort of a scenario, I think one of the key things that that person should be focusing on is to fill up that hollow. There are only a few moments in our lives, especially when you become an adult, when you get busy with life, when you have a job, you have kids, you have wife, you have a husband or whatnot. You get so busy with your life that there are only a few moments you get where you can actually sit back and actually take stock of what you actually want to take forward in your life. And the death of someone you were in a relationship with creates a hollow, creates a freedom of sorts for you to actually fill that hollow now with something that you actually want to take with you. So here is a meditation that you should be doing when or if you are in such a situation. Control your breath. That is, of course, how we start all of our meditations. But then focus on what is the feeling that you want to feel. What is the emotion that you actually want to feel? And go towards that. Try to see how that feeling, that emotion can manifest in your life, and try to go towards that feeling or that emotion. try to fill up that hollow that you have in your life now with something that is more meaningful to you. And then the next thing that I'd written here, this is something I think it can be triggering for a lot of people, but I still want to talk about it because I think it is extremely important. This is very close to what I talked about initially in this episode when I was narrating that story of Yudhishthir. We see death all around us, all the time, and all of us know somewhere deep down that all of us are gonna die. Yet we still keep living as if we are immortals, as if death will not happen to us or for us or to the loved ones that we are around, etc., etc. And therefore, if and when you are in a situation where a close one has died, where you are experiencing death in extremely close proximity, it can actually serve a massive purpose for you. It can serve this purpose for you that you actually question your own life. You question whether what you are spending your life doing is actually worth doing. Because, hear me out. Of course, for a lot of us, we are doing things that we're doing under the banner of this is secure, this is safe, this is familiar, this is what I know how to do, etc. But then suddenly something like death happens, and you know that there is no guaranteed safety, there is no guaranteed security, there is no guarantee to life because death is the guarantee. So now, because you always knew it, but it had never manifested in your life, but now that you're seeing it manifest right in front of you, it can actually trigger you to the point that you start to question whether what you're spending your life doing is actually worth doing or not. And I think this is something you should meditate on. This is something that you should spend more of your time doing. Because if you are out of alignment, the death of someone close by, I mean, if you're out of alignment with what your core purposes could be, with what your highest purpose could be in your life, the death of a close one can actually serve a very meaningful means to an end. It can serve a very meaningful blow to you so that you start to question whether you should be actually focusing on something else or not. And if, I mean, see, if you will die at some point in time, shouldn't you really be thinking whether something you are doing is worth your time or not? Because in that manner of speaking, all of us have limited time on this earth, isn't it? And then if what you're doing is not really the highest thing that you could be doing, shouldn't you at least spend some of your energy, some of your waking hours to try and manifest whatever your highest purpose could be in life? I think it's only obvious that all of us should.
Thank you for staying with me till the end of this video. Like I mentioned at the start, this is a short clip from one of my most vulnerable and one of my most favorite podcast episodes so far. If you're with me till here, something must have resonated with you. You should consider checking out that complete episode too. And there's a lot of content on my channel where I also build on the idea of the purpose of life and how to go about finding it. There is an entire playlist dedicated to just this topic. You should consider checking that out too. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and I'll see you in the playground soon. Until next time, peace out.